Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going through my round 4 AFL fantasy team, in which we had a positive round for once. I think this is the first green arrow for the year. No, sorry, second green arrow in a row, actually. After the first week we had a pretty dismal, round 2 we had a pretty dismal round, and then after that we've gone green arrow, green arrow. This one was a little bit more of a green arrow than the previous round, and I believe it's my highest round rank of the year, or just about. It's actually just shy of round 1. I'm about 200 places off, but anyway, let's jump into this video here. So 1806 for the round puts me at a team value, I believe, of somewhere in that range. I'm not exactly sure about the team value at the moment, and I have my trades currently on the actual live screen, so I'm not going to show you that because I don't want to give away what's, even though it's going to be pretty obvious. One of them is getting Bison for leak, so you can make of what the other one will be. And then, yeah, the round rank here, 18,895. I thought it, 895, sorry. I thought it was the highest, but round 1, you can see 18,668. So just below the highest round rank we've had, which is really, really poor that we've been this poor. But AFL Fantasy, it's not over. It is a trading game. I don't think I can obviously get top 100 or the car anymore or whatever. But at this point in time, I still can get that top 5, 10K. I'm still, I think if you look at the live rankings with other guys, I think I actually need to just double check this with respect to, let me just see, because I have group chats on my phone and stuff like that and can show you, or can read out the numbers here. But so for me, if you look at my rankings here, 7498. I can tell you that a guy that I know that's in 3,800th is currently at 7625, which is, 127 points ahead of me for 12,000 ranked. So I still think I can get easily into that top 5, top 3K if I just make my trades right, make the right moves, make get that cash generation starting again, because as you can see with the value, look at my value compared to the best. It is absolutely horrific. Like, look at this team, and you're probably just going to realize how much better this team is. He's already got just cash generation here out of absolutely everywhere, to the point that he's already got a premium, 4 premium, 5 premiums in the midfield, as well as having as good a defender lineup and as good a forward lineup as me. So yeah, just shows to me that cash generation, I do probably need to do better at that, I would say. In general across the next year and stuff like that. That's one of the things that I'm going to look at, especially in the women's game as well when that comes up, and just doing all that better, I think, is something that I really need to improve on. So anyway, into the side, Zorko, this is a surprising one, but I think also we need to realize this happened with Sicily last year. If I go to DFS and open this up, and I'll show you exactly which game it was with Sicily, I said, oh, he's a great trade and he's doing exactly what we need. Sicily, maybe it was 2 years ago, but maybe it was also last year. I just want to check because it was against Richmond, same opponent. I'm pretty sure. Let me just bring up the Richmond matchup. It would be here. You can see this game here. Last year, I want to say, I said, oh, he is an absolutely fantastic matchup against Richmond. Drops a 53. And I'm pretty sure he even tried to save it in the last quarter. But we'll just see. I'll just double check about that again. But just shows that there still is this thing about sort of these halfback flankers against these really, really poor sides in Richmond, West Coast, North Melbourne, and guys like that. That they can really actually struggle to get the ball just because teams try and put up a massive score against them. We saw that with Brisbane trying to put up a massive score on the weekend, and they did shut off in the last quarter, which Zorko did get a little bit of help there in getting a, I think he got something like 15, 20 points late on in the game. But I'm just trying to bring up, that would be round 22, was it, that they played, Brisbane played? Hawthorn. We're looking at for Hawthorn against the likes of Richmond. Yeah, Hawthorn won by 63 points in the back end of the last year, and Sicily in that game had a 21 point last quarter, so it was on 32 at 3/4 time. Yeah, that makes sense from the memory that I had, as he had a stinker of a game after me saying, oh yeah, you should trade him in, etc. So that just shows and probably proves the point that there's multiple occurrences with Richmond and other sides where they're really, really poor sides, and just the forwards and the mids just score all the points. So we probably need to look at that more exclusively. Harry Sheezel went down back, and that saved his score. He ended up losing 11k, but it's pretty much reset his break even, and he looks really good off of it. I know that some will say that he only went down back for 10 minutes, but it was just enough to get him into the game. And Sydney just tagged LDU, which didn't really hamper his scoring, but it hampered his impact, as a lot of the disposals that LDU got was him bursting out of a stoppage and stuff like that, and really being still contested and just hack kicks forward and stuff like that. And that was the difference. Sinclair, that was really annoying, but glad he got that goal late. We'll talk about it in Supercoach later, in a later video tonight. But yeah, it sucks. And didn't really see this coming, but I'm happy to hold him throughout the rest of the year, because that was a 95 that he scored in the end, and he didn't have any non-disposal points. Basically, he only had 3 marks and 2 tackles. He can easily pick that up, I feel like, in future. And he also missed a snap that he really should have been kicking that goal with the I think it was a banana about 20 meters out, when he should have just gone a drop punt, and that would have got him to the 100 there, and it also would have got his Supercoach rating through the roof. But enough about that. Jaden Short, 97. Glad that I kind of held him in the end. He's going to be a really good... I mean, he's just going to slowly gain cash, and he could even get profit with some just bigger scores. He's gotten 101, 97 in the last couple of weeks, and that's basically near enough top of the line if he can hold that. I am worried that Freo in gather round he struggles, but we'll see about that. Matty Roberts struggled a little bit because of Bice having the full game, and we saw that last week as well, in 95, the week that Bice played the full game. So he's gone 104, 81, 95, 78. So he is struggling a little bit in Supercoach, but I'm not too worried about him yet. Yes, he only gained 2k and has Collingwood 87 break even, but him, like Short, has the capability of going 100, or 110 plus. So I'm not too worried about them yet. And then you have Zach Reed on the bye, and Luke Trainer and James Leake, and you can probably just see the problem with my fantasy side, and the reason why I'm probably going to have to I'm probably going to be a week behind in upgrading is just because I have no cash gen on my bench. Hasty, Leake, Finn O'Sullivan, Camperali, Elijah Hewitt, Xavier Lindsay, all lost cash, I want to say, or didn't make any cash. What did Hasty made 1k? So out of them, you got 1k out of like 8 bench guys or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 bench guys. Even Connor Stone to a certain extent made 26k. And Corey Warner made 40k, but his break even's starting to regulate again. So yeah, just shows to me that I probably need to look at just generating some cash again. I know that Finn O'Sullivan and also Xavier Lindsay should be back this weekend alongside Elijah Hewitt. 2 illnesses, and Lindsay should be back from his knee injury or close to it. So that should help with that. That'll get them close, but probably need Hasty and also Zach Reed's going to be back off the bye, but need Hasty and Leak to probably go to some cash generators in all honesty. But I don't know if there's many. Let's just look at this in terms of players, 200 to 299k, and then break even. And yeah, I could go someone. See, there's not many in that bracket that I can really get. Because I need Leak up, and then I need sort of this really low guy, and you can see that even just Leak sitting there at 248k. So yeah, interesting about that. That I can't really move in terms of getting players out. So I might need to move like a Camperali instead of a Hasty, and just hope that Hasty can, I guess, beat 27, but I don't think he'll be in the side next week anyway. Then we move on to the midfield. Connor Rozee took up the M1 mantle and flopped, I would say, in general. So yeah, that sucked. Yeah. 84 from him. Probably going to have to hold him for another week, but then hope that he bounces back. But against Hawthorn, probably going to cop a tag. And yeah, this is the problem, I think. At the moment, it's just not being able to fix up any of this mess, because I went for sort of upgrades already with SDK up, rather than just grabbing Bice, grabbing the cash generation and thinking about it later. That was probably a big mistake going early. Caleb Sarong 121, that was outstanding from him, especially the second half. He went nuts in the second half and is now starting to show what I thought he'd do, and has Richmond next week in gather round potential captaincy option. Clayton Oliver 104 is doing enough. He's averaging 102.5, and yeah, he's just doing what he needs to do. He's up 100k or so on the year, and 68 break even. He should beat that by 20 or 30 at least. Maybe even 40 odd, and that will get him up another 40k or so, and he's starting to get close to he'll start to close in on Roseep's price, you would think, soon. Callahan, he's dropping and he's just putting up stinker after stinker, so he's probably going to move on in the next couple of weeks. He could easily cop a tag against Windhager or Steele next week, so yeah, I just need to generate some cash, and just so yeah, can't really move him on at the moment, which kind of sucks. Sanders put up a massive performance, and now he has Brisbane next week in gather round, so that'll be interesting what happens there. I have a feeling he'll struggle a little bit, but I mean, he's putting 76.5, so he's doing all right, but he's not doing anything mammoth. Levi Ashcroft 82. Yep, did his job done. He's back on the cash generating, and he'll be fine, I think, in the long run. Projected still to make another 100 or so K in the next 3 weeks. That is not 100k, that is 73, 93k, so close enough. 93, 100k, close enough. Moraes, cash generation probably going to slow in the next couple of weeks, but he's still projected to make another 130k in the next 3 weeks, even with 60 scores. So 54 is not the greatest, but could easily see that improve. Hasty 18, his cash generation is screwed. I don't know why I started him over some other guys. Just something that I probably need to look in next year. It's just better. These small forwards are probably better options than these sort of wingers, etc. We'll just see about that next year. I need to sort of improve on picking the job security guys. O'Sullivan was late out, which probably didn't help. That cost me, I don't think, any points in the end, just sort of cash generation. Camperelli, I don't know what in the world Vossi is doing. He probably needs to play Camperelli next week. Watch him actually do it and put Camperelli as sub, which would be annoying. Gorn 95, I mean, the ruck slots, if you actually look at the ruck slots, they're really, really just dire at the moment. If we just quickly look at all prices and then go the rucks and then go the average. If we look at this, you'll see Darcy Cameron 107.8, but he has an effective average of 98, I believe it is. Then you've got Rowan Marshall averaging 101 after he put up a 75. So he's minus, I think, on the year, he's minus about 15 on his price. You got Jared Witts averaging 100 still. I expect that to drop a little bit further as well. Tim English 96.8, so he's one of the better ruckmen as well, but still 96.8. So then you start to get towards Nankervis 94. TDK is also one of the better ruckmen, but Cherry 93.5 and Gorn 92.3. So you start looking at that and you go, well, they're not really getting outscored by the other ruckmen. It's just that they started at a higher price. So they're all kind of fails in their own right. And then Boyd, I don't know why I picked him over Archer Reed, who's doing some things, I would say. He's up to 3-3-2, and he's just getting regular playing time. So that was probably, just really bad in my rookie selections this year, which has really, really set me back in cash generation. Jack McRae had a struggle on the weekend, but 84, he's still doing his job. Horne-Francis came back with a bang. He didn't like that I'd put him at the the F2 slot, so he obviously went absolutely berserk. He has Hawthorn this week. We expect a tag probably coming his way, so he might struggle. But one thing you always saw with Horne-Francis in the previous games was that he was dropping marks, etc., and he was getting opportunities. If we just look at the stats here, you can see 5 free kicks against in this game. In this 74, he had about 3 or 4 drop marks at least. So one thing we saw was just that he was actually taking the marks. He kicked 3 goals, which is probably not what he's going to do. He's probably going to kick 1, so that takes away like 18 or so points or whatever you want to say. In terms of the kick, probably 24 you could almost say, but still him getting 100 points regularly I think is attainable. And yeah, so that's why I think that Horne-Francis wasn't the holding him was probably the better option, as there was other chaos happening. And Bailey Smith is just doing his thing. He's just racking up non-disposal points like it's funny. He's at averaging 5 marks and also 8 tackles a game. So that is just ridiculous. That's 32. That's 47 points in non-disposal points in itself. And then he obviously is racking up the pill with 28, 25, and 32 touches respectively. Caleb Daniel, 88. He was a little bit poor in the game on the weekend against Sydney, but still job done. Sam Davidson, a little bit of a struggle with him in terms of just scoring this weekend, but he had that big performance in that last week, so his cash gen's still there, but it's going to fall away pretty quickly. I have a feeling if he doesn't produce a big one soon, but he could obviously do that. And has Brisbane this weekend is still projected to make another like 140k or so. Was that? Yeah, 107, 130k. Then you have Connor Stone, that just sucked, but my bench wasn't going to provide a big enough score for him to be offset anyway. So it didn't matter in terms of scoring, just sucks that Connor Stone can't do anything right at the moment. He was projected to be something really big. Him and Angus Sheldrick have probably been the guys that have been touted up from the Sydney, two Sydney sides and kind of under-delivered this year in terms of the rookies, which is surprising. But yeah, hopefully the new crop of rookies that we get through every week really does. We can trade these guys out and really start the second gen of cash generation there. And then Corey Warner on the bench, and Elijah Hewitt was was out with an injury. I think it was illness related, but I'm not 100% sure. If we go to Elijah Hewitt's injury, let's just see. We'll miss with a calf injury there. So yeah, that's not the greatest news. With regards to Elijah Hewitt, that's probably a 2 or 3 or week injury there, to be honest with you. So yeah, so we'll see when he comes back, but he might be a trade out next week if he isn't back in, because but I can also use him as a loop. So yeah, we'll see about how he goes, but it might be Corey Warner on field, etc. And we bring in another forward there just to allow James Leake to go to Bice. But that is the team. We are in positive for the overall rank, but I'll say that I can see where there's like a soft underbelly of this side, and that is bench not providing cash generation. We need to fix that. If it means that I miss out on an upgrade or two, it means that, and I just got to hope that these guys can turn it around. But anyway, that is the video going through my team review for round 4. If you guys did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. If you are listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating over there, and I'll see you guys for the Supercoach review later. Bye guys.